Hello there guys, welcome to another of my videos. On this video tonight, there is a few things to negotiate about. I am going to give you Manchester United's end of the season player ratings, like I mentioned on my recent video I did earlier on today. Then after that, I'm going to be giving you the latest news regarding Ole Gunnar Solsjaker. So let's get on with the player ratings. So I'm going to give David De Gea a 5 out of 10. I don't think David De Gea has had a good season for Manchester United. He's made a lot of mistakes throughout the course of this season. I think he made a bad mistake in our 2-1 home loss to Crystal Palace. He also made a mistake against Tottenham, first game back after lockdown that was. I think he also made a mistake against Everton, and he also made a mistake against Watford. And let's also put into the equation, David De Gea made two calamitous mistakes in our 3-1 loss to Chelsea in the FA Cup semi-final. Now, these are quite a few Manchester United fans that have said, we should consider selling David De Gea in this summer transfer window, but I actually don't think we will. I'm not too sure if he's going to remain our number one for next season, because possibly Dean Henderson could become our number one for next season. But yeah, David De Gea has been a liability in the last couple of years. Like I've said before, I think David De Gea has had 7 good years out of the 9 years he's been at Manchester United. He has made 404 appearances for the football club in all competitions, and I think he's made around 312 appearances in the Premier League. He has started all our 38 games this season in the Premier League, has David De Gea. Like I said last September, David De Gea signed a 4-year deal at the football club worth £375,000 a week. So David De Gea is the highest paid goalkeeper in the world, and he is the highest paid at the football club. If we sold David De Gea in this summer transfer window, or we sold him next year or next couple of years' time, we'd still get more than the 17 or 18 million that were paid for him from Atletico Madrid back in 2011. But like I said, when David De Gea does eventually leave Manchester United, I think he will go back to Spain. The main explanations is because he was born in Spain, his relatives are from Spain, and obviously, he began his footballing career in Spain. And Real Madrid were in for David De Gea for so long. Don't forget he was close to joining Real Madrid in 2015, but due to a fax machine, the deal never materialised. Solskjaer did say quite a few weeks ago that David De Gea has been the best goalkeeper in the world for the last 9 or 10 years. Roy Keane's recently given his perception on De Gea, and he said that Man United should axe David De Gea because Roy Keane has been critical of him quite a few times. But don't forget, David De Gea has won everything domestically at the football club, and he's won individual awards reflecting on his good run of performances. So yeah, analyse it this season, De Gea's only getting a 5 out of 10. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10 because I think Aaron Wan-Bissaka's enjoyed a very, very good season for Manchester United. I think towards the end of the season, though, he looked a bit off the pace, and Aaron Wan-Bissaka, did look a bit fatigued. And we need to see more of the attacking side of his game, and Wan-Bissaka's. That's what's letting him down at the moment, but his defensive contributions are exceptional, and I think Wan-Bissaka is reliable, and he can be our right back for the next probably 9 or 10 years, And, we did get him for around £50 million from Crystal Palace last summer. I think Wan-Bissaka started around, 34, 35 of our games in the league this season. Fossa Mensah. Now, I'm going to give him a 5 out of 10. Like I said, Fossa Mensah did play in our game against Crystal Palace. That was his first appearance for the football club in just over 3 years. Obviously, Fossa Mensah was out with injury for a long time. And he didn't do bad, to be fair, against Crystal Palace, did Fossa Mensah. Obviously, Fossa Mensah started the game, didn't he, against West Ham. Obviously, Aaron Wan-Bissaka was dropped in that game. So I'm going to give him a 5 out of 10 because, like I said, he's hardly played this season. Now, Diego Dalot. I'm going to give him a 4 out of 10. Like I said, Diego Dalot's had a few injuries this season. Yeah, he's had a few injuries. I think he's only made one start for Manchester United in the Premier League this season. And I think he has made a couple of substitute appearances. Personally speaking, I don't think Diego Dalot is good enough to represent Manchester United. I really, really don't. We did get Diego Dalot in Jose Mourinho's final transfer window. We did pay around £19 million in from Porto. And Dalot has got a contract with us until 2023. If we was to sell Dalot, probably would want in the 20 odd or the 30 odd million pound range for him. But I think he could be one of the players that leaves Man United in this summer transfer window. Ashley Young. I thought it looked quite solid, to be fair. Ashley Young earlier on in the season. Obviously, when Wan-Bissaka arrived, obviously, Ashley Young was no longer our first choice right back. Obviously, we do know that last season, that obviously, Young was our first choice right back. But obviously, he'd passed his sell-by date at the football club. Young did enjoy 8.5 years at Man United. I thought he had probably like 3 good years out of the 8.5 years he was with us. He's in his 30s now, he's Ashley Young. But Young did leave the football club in January to go to Inter Milan. So I'll probably give Young, analysing the first part of the season when he was with us, I'll probably give him a 6 out of 10. Victor Lindelof. Now, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. I think Victor Lindelof's had quite a lot of good games throughout the course of this season for Man United. He's had a few bad games, Victor Lindelof, where he's actually made a lot of mistakes and he's looked very, very exposed. I don't know if Victor Lindelof is the foreseeable future for Manchester United. I really, really don't. Obviously, this has been Victor Lindelof's 3rd season at the football club. Obviously, we did get him from Benfica back in 2017 for around £30 million. But yeah, I'm going to give Victor Lindelof a 7 out of 10. I thought he did very, very well in the game against Leicester as well. Made a lot of imperative blocks and, got in some very, very good positions. Harry Maguire, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. This obviously was Harry Maguire's first season at the football club. I think Harry Maguire's had some bad games and he's also had some good games as a Manchester United player. A lot of Manchester United fans don't think that Harry Maguire is good enough to be our captain, because we did give Harry Maguire the captaincy, reflecting on Ashley Young's departure. We did pay 80 million for Harry Maguire last summer. So he's the second most expensive signing at the club and the most expensive centre-half in the world. I think Harry Maguire has scored 2 goals for the football club, if I'm right. I think one of them goals did come against Tranmere in the Cup and the other one came in the 2-0 win at Stamford Bridge. But he's had some very, very good games. So we'll give Harry Maguire a 7 out of 10. Eric Bailly, going to give him a 4 out of 10. Like I said, Eric Bailly's been injured for the vast majority of the season. Don't forget, last summer when it was pre-season, Eric Bailly sustained a bad injury that ruled him out until February. Then obviously, he came back in the 2-0 win against Chelsea and did quite well. And obviously, he's recently been out with a head injury. So my only element of concern about Eric Bailly is that he's injury prone. But I don't think he's made a fantastic impact, when he's obviously, played in some of the games throughout the course of this season. But, Bailly actually, would be my preference over Victor Lindelof. He really, really would. So he's going to get a 4 out of 10. Alex Tuanzebe. Going to give him a 4 out of 10. Again, Alex Tuanzebe has hardly played for Manchester United. Alex Tuanzebe is out with injury at the moment, and I heard that he's going to be out until August. But I do believe, when he's back fit, Tuanzebe will get more opportunities. He did okay in the games that I played in earlier on in the season, but he's obviously, there as a backup. Phil Jones. Alright, I'll have it later. Put it in microwave. Yeah. But he had Phil Jones. He's out with injury at the moment. Is Phil Jones. he sustained a few injuries as a Manchester United player. This has been Phil Jones's ninth season at the football club. He's been here since the Alex Ferguson era. So I'm actually going to give Phil Jones a 4 out of 10. I think he's only started 2 league games throughout the course of this season, and one of his appearances came against Sheffield United at Bramall Lane. But he doesn't get in the team now anyway. Marcus Rojo, give him a 6 out of 10. He did well in a back three, to be fair, did Marcus Rojo. Obviously, he sustained a few injuries as a Manchester United player. Rojo, of course, left the football club on loan in January, because he did go to Estudiantes, did the player. Luke Shaw, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. I think Luke Shaw's enjoyed a very, very good season for Manchester United. Obviously Luke Shaw missed the first part of the season with injury. And the only element of concern about Luke Shaw is that, he's very, very injury prone. But prior to that, very, very good left back. And this has been Luke Shaw's 6th season at Man United. We did pay around £30 million for him from Southampton back in 2014. But he did well in the second half of the season. Put some very, very good performances in. Obviously, he scored in the cup game against Derby. Don't forget Luke Shaw. Obviously, he's recently been out with an ankle injury, so I think he's actually missed our last 3 or 4 games. Probably for next season, Luke Shaw will remain our first choice left back. Brandon Williams, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. I think Brandon Williams has enjoyed a very, very good season for Man United. Don't forget, this has been Brandon Williams' first full season in our senior squad. It's been his first full season. And I think he's played a good 20-odd games this season for Man United. I think Brandon Williams has showed very, very good attacking intent. He's defensively been very, very good. And that's what we do like to see. I think Brandon Williams has scored 1 goal for the football club so far. And it was the only professional goal he scored so far. And that came in the 3-3 draw against Sheffield United. So there you go. Paul Pogba, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. I know Paul Pogba obviously, missed a lot of the season, due to that ankle injury and all of that. But obviously, towards the end of the season, Paul Pogba came back after lockdown, and I think, he did make a fantastic impact. But there again, in the last few games, he has looked a bit off the pace as Paul Pogba, but I still think his combination with Bruno Fernandes has been absolutely fantastic. Paul Pogba did score in the 3-0 win against Aston Villa. That was his first goal of the season, and it was his first goal for Man United since April 2019. But Pogba has sustained quite a few injuries as a Manchester United player. Let's put that into the equation. I think now Paul Pogba will be staying at the football club. Now we have got qualification for the Champions League. Fabrizio Romano did say the other week that Man United want to extend Paul Pogba's contract. And it said Paul Pogba's agent, Mino Raiola, is waiting for the offer. If we can get him to a new long-term contract anyway, it will end the uncertainty over his future. Because obviously, Paul Pogba's had a long-running transfer saga at Man United. At one point he was looking very imminent he was going to be leaving the football club, because don't forget he was relentlessly linked to a move to Real Madrid. Because last summer Paul Pogba said he wanted to leave the football club because he was seeking for a new challenge and all of that. Obviously, there was a lot of narratives about him possibly going back to Juventus, because Paul Pogba did enjoy 4 good years with Juventus. There was talks about him going to PSG and Barcelona before, but obviously, he didn't. As it stands at the moment, Pogba's just got under a year left on his contract, but the club do have an option to extend it for a further year. So I'll give Paul Pogba a 7 out of 10. Bruno Fernandes, he's going to get a 9 out of 10. Obviously, since January, because Bruno Fernandes obviously came in January. Obviously, he wasn't with us at the start of the season, was Bruno Fernandes. But I'll go from January. Bruno Fernandes is getting a 9 out of 10. Some United fans, would give him a 10 out of 10. I think Bruno Fernandes has got 10 goals since his arrival from Sporting Lisbon in January. 10 goals in all competitions, that is. Also thought Bruno Fernandes was exceptional on his debut against Wolves. I think he actually had the most touches in the game. Don't forget, Bruno Fernandes became the first player to win back-to-back Player of the Months since Cristiano Ronaldo, because Bruno Fernandes won Player of the Month for June and he also won it for February, reflects on his good performances. And we know that Bruno Fernandes plays in that number 10 because that's where he's more effective. But if you were to put him somewhere else, then maybe you won't get the best out of him. But like I said, he hasn't looked at the same level in the last few games as Bruno Fernandes. He has lacked that composure, which is unusual of him. But there again, you can arguably say he hasn't been getting enough service, as Bruno Fernandes. I thought in the game against Leicester, his final pass definitely let him down. But definitely, one of the best signings we have made is Bruno Fernandes since the Alex Ferguson era. Matic, to be honest with you, I'm going to give Matic a 7 out of 10. Didn't really have a perception on him earlier on in the season, that because obviously, Matic wasn't really getting a lot of starts, was he? Obviously, earlier on in the season, likes of McTominay and Fred were getting ahead of Matic, but obviously, after lockdown, Matic was getting a hell of a lot of starts. Don't forget, we extended his contract, reflects on his good run of performances, but I think a lot of aspects of Matic's game have improved. He's keeping the ball better, he's getting in better positions, his passing's also improved. We know he's a slow player, and that's only really my concern about Matic. And obviously he's aging up, but this has been now his third season at Manchester United. We did pay £40 million from Chelsea, was it, back in 2017. Scott McTominay, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. I think he's enjoyed a good season. Obviously, like I said, he was getting a lot of starts earlier on in the season. And don't forget, earlier on in the season, we did extend McTominay's contract, until 2025, was it? So McTominay did sign a 5-year deal. Don't forget, McTominay was out with injury earlier on in the season. I think, was it an ankle injury that he had? But he's definitely the foreseeable future. McTominay is definitely, the foreseeable future for Man United. Fred, he's going to get a 7 out of 10. I think Fred has also enjoyed a very, very good season under Ole Gunnar Solsjaker. And like I said, Fred has confounded his critics wrong. He has confounded his critics wrong because obviously, revert back to the Jose Mourinho era, Fred got a lot of criticism, but there again, Fred never really got his opportunities under the Jose Mourinho era. So you couldn't have really, criticised him. I think we got also Fred in Jose Mourinho's final transfer window at the club. We did pay around 52 million for him from Shakhtar Donetsk. But he has looked very, very mobile in the games he did play throughout the course of this season. Definitely a 7 out of 10 for him. Marcus Rashford. Now, I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. He's not going to get a really high rating off me because obviously, Rashford didn't make an impact at the start of the season. Then obviously, Rashford had sustained that back injury, so Rashford was out for a good 5 months. So he missed, more than half of the season, obviously, due to injury. I think since when the season resumed, I don't think he made the best of impacts, but I still think he managed to score around 3 goals. But let's put into the equation, Rashford's got 22 goals in all competitions. That's the goals he scored this season. And I think he's got over 60-odd senior goals since he broke into our senior squad back in 2016. We know this season Rashford's been playing out on the left. Mason Greenwood, I'm going to give him a 8 out of 10. As you all know, Mason Greenwood weren't getting starts earlier on in the season. Obviously, you saw Daniel James getting there ahead of Mason Greenwood. But obviously, after lockdown, Mason Greenwood, was getting a hell of a lot of starts. And I thought he made a fantastic impact. And I think, even when his appearances were coming off the bench earlier on in the season, he did really, really well. Don't forget, this season has been Mason Greenwood's first full season in the senior squad. Mason Greenwood scored 17 goals in all competitions this season, and don't forget he recently had a ankle injury, but he has looked very, very effective on that right hand side as Greenwood. So he's going to get an 8 definitely. Anthony Martial, he's going to get a 9 out of 10. I think Martial's enjoyed a very, very good season for Manchester United. Like I said, Martial scored 22 goals in all competitions this season. I think Martial scored 51 goals now in the Premier League for Man United, and this has been his 5th season at the football club. Obviously, he's had 2 good seasons out of the 5 seasons he's been in. I think he's done well this season under Solsjaker, and he was absolutely exceptional in his debut season under the Louis van Gaal era. We did pay, around £36 million for Anthony Martial, but we do know this season he has been playing in that central role, and to be honest with you, looks very, very effective in that central position. Andres Pereira, going to give him a 4 out of 10. Andres Pereira, I think, in the games he played in this season, he's been very, very poor. Obviously, a lot of his appearances, throughout the course of this season have come from the bench. And I think, we need to probably, get rid of Andres Pereira, very, very inconsistent, and he isn't even getting in the team now anyway. Jesse Lingard, now he's going to get a 3 out of 10. I think he's enjoyed a poor season. Even, when he was getting a lot of starts, I think he was still very, very poor. But since Fernandes came in, Lingard's found game time difficult. Lingard did score in the 2-0 win at Leicester. He scored, the second goal, and that was Jesse Lingard's first goal for Manchester United since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first game in charge. So that just indicates how inconsistent Jesse Lingard has been. But like I've said before, reflecting on his status at the football club and the number of years he's been at Man United, he should be, putting much more better performances out. But I think we'll also look to get rid of Lingard. Juan Mata, I'm actually going to give him a 7 out of 10 because I know he hasn't played a lot throughout the course of this season, but when he's been involved, I think Juan Mata has made a fantastic impact. Juan Mata, is still capable of creating chances, and he can score some goals, and he can, provide assists and that. Juan Mata is aging up though. I think he's had a very, very good career at Man United. This has been his 6th season at the football club. We did get him from Chelsea back in 2014 for, 40 million or just under £40 million. We got him under the David Moyes era, Juan Mata. Yeah. So he's going to get a 7 out of 10 because, like I said, he's done well in the games he's played in, when he's been given them chances. Daniel James, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. Reflects on what he did earlier on in the season, because throughout the course of the season, Daniel James has been given a hell of a lot of starts. I think throughout the course of this season, Daniel James has played around 30 odd games for Manchester United. It was the final part of the season, when Daniel James had dropped out. We paid, £15 million for Daniel James last summer from Swansea. So it was a cheap solution. Obviously Daniel James can play on the left. He can also play on the right. But he actually, he's supposed to be more effective from the left. But this season when we've played him, we've put Daniel James on that right-hand side. I think there's actually no possibility chance that we could loan Daniel James out for next season. But he's still going to get a 7 out of 10. And don't forget, he did score in his debut in our 4-0 win against Chelsea. Odion Ighalo, obviously, he came in on loan on January deadline day, and I think he's done well, so I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. Don't forget, Odion Ighalo was our top goal scorer in the FA Cup. I thought we made the right decision by bringing him in because obviously, we brought him in as a cover-up to Marcus Rashford because Marcus Rashford was out with injury. And like I said, I think he scored quite a few goals, Odion Ighalo. Don't forget, we did extend his loan until January 2021. Obviously, after his loan, Odion Ighalo's, I presume he'll go back to Shanghai Shenhua. because we've no option to buy Gallo, or there's no obligation to buy him. But yeah, so he's going to get a 7 out of 10. I think Gallo did score twice in the 3-0 win at Derby in the Cup. He also scored, I think, in the Bruges game. I think he also scored in the last game. Yeah, still a very, very good player. Tahith Chong. Now, I'm going to give him a... probably a 4 or 5 out of 10, because I'm probably going to give him a 4 or 5 out of 10 because Chong's hardly played this season. His appearances have been limited at the football club. And is there a possibility chance that we could loan Tahith Chong out for next season? I think Solskjaer's going to make a decision on what players he's going to loan out. Is it sometime this week or next week? Tahith Chong, I think, did make his debut for the club in our 2-0 win against Reading in the FA Cup, was it 3rd round last season? But he's hardly played. James Garner, he's hardly played for the football club. So I think, we're possibly going to loan James Garner out. We're going to loan him out. So yeah, so that is your end of the season player ratings. Who do you think being Manchester United's best player throughout the course of this season? So there you go. Sergio Romero, obviously, he didn't play in the league games this season, but obviously, he played in all our cup games apart from the FA Cup semi-final. I thought he did very, very well, to be honest with you, so I'll give Sergio Romero a 7 out of 10. But like I said before, he's not yet reliable enough to become our number one goalkeeper. Lee Grant, not applicable, because I think he's only played once this season. Didn't he go and goal for the game against Astana, if I am right? But yeah. So now anyway, let's delve into news regarding Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So reportedly, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has told the board to back him. And reportedly, he's told Ed Woodward to make around 3 signings in this summer transfer window. Reportedly, I think we've got around £140 million to spend in this summer transfer window. And Solskjaer has drawn his 4-man short list. And reportedly the players he's looking to bring in is Jadon Sancho from Borussia Dortmund. He's looking to bring Jack Grealish in from Villa. He's looking to bring Declan Rice in from West Ham. And he's looking to bring Kalidou Koulibaly in from Napoli. Now, I think Solskjaer's enjoyed a very, very good first full season at Manchester United, because it's a fantastic achievement, to get qualification for the Champions League and to finish 3rd in your first full season at the football club. For us getting Champions League qualification, I think we'll probably get an extra £70 million in revenue, so that's going to help us with our rebuilding process. Solskjaer did recently say he was targeting around 5 signings to overhaul the Manchester United squad, because Solskjaer did say at the start of his managerial tenure he is targeting 9 signings at Man United, and so far Solskjaer's made 4 permanent signings at the football club and spent just over £200 million on them. Solskjaer has outlined his transfer plans after Champions League qualification. And he's told our board, to get his preferred targets before the start of next season. But we've got to spend in this summer transfer window, because like I said, the big test for Solskjaer will be next season, because next season Solskjaer will have bigger expectations to exceed. I think our expectations next season will be to challenge for the Premier League title. It will be to challenge for the Premier League title. Because obviously, this has been the 7th season we have failed to mount any kind of title challenge up, and, we haven't won the Premier League since 2013, but it just basically depends on how we recruit. If we didn't get qualification for the Champions League, then I would have said, we wouldn't have got the players that, we want to recommend in. But this summer transfer window is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's 4th transfer window as Manchester United manager. Like I said, we've got a priority now, and that is the Europa League. Obviously, our Europa League games are in August. And obviously, we've got Lask on the 5th of August. That is the second leg because we are 5-0 up from the first leg. So we're more or less into the quarterfinals of the Europa League. We are emerged as one of the favourites to win the Europa League. Obviously, if we win the Europa League, it will be our first trophy under Solsjaker because we've not yet won out in terms of silverware under him. And he's been at the football club over a year and a half. So we need to get some silverware on the board. We're really, really doing that. But the big decisions need to be made in this summer transfer window. What players Solskjaer is going to recommend in, and what players he's going to get rid of. I think we're going to try and get rid of at least 6 players in this summer transfer window because, quite frankly, there is still deadwood at the football club. But to be fair, Solskjaer's got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he got recommended in to Manchester United and that. Like I say, we've got 8 players' contracts that are due to expire next year, and Solskjaer's got to make a decision on these 8 players. But to be fair, we've extended a lot of players' contracts since he came in. Like I said, I've seen a lot of improvements since January. We're unbeaten in our last 14 Premier League games. We haven't lost in the league since the 2-0 loss at Burnley back in January. Don't forget, we did go on a 19-game unbeaten run in all competitions and that. So I think we are going in the right direction under Solskjaer. We really, really are. But it needs at least another season because it is a transition period and it has been a transition period for a while. So Solskjaer has told our board to back him and, he's notified them to go and get him free signings because we've got around 140 million to spend. But we sell players, our transfer budget will increase. Because I said there's been a lot of uncertainty regarding the summer transfer window due to the financial impacts of the coronavirus pandemic and all of that. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.